You've been with someone for a month and you've never met their friend, you've never been to a dinner, they never showed you like on their social, on their page, whatever. When you ask them about that, they say like they just want to stay private. So let's talk about like what staying private means in the context of a relationship. So the thing you have to know at first is that people merge the world they are serious about. What does that mean? It means that if you're serious about something, you show that to the world. You show that at least to the people that you care about. So when someone is serious about you, they will naturally start to show you to the people that care about them. So that could be like their friends, their family, their colleagues, whatever. Not saying that everyone will show you off in the first week to everyone. This is not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that if they're serious, and this could take a little bit of time, maybe it will be like week one, maybe it will be like after a month, we don't know. They will start to show you to the people they care about, but at least one person. Again, not necessarily everyone, not necessarily their whole family, group of friends, and etc., but at least maybe their closest friends, or maybe like their siblings if they are close to them. You know what I mean? So if you stay like a few months and you did not meet any friends or like any person of their family, or like at least just barely one person, there is something there. There is something. That's a signal. This is not something random. People bring the person they're serious about into their room. So if they don't, you're just staying outside of the room, and the room is their world. So this means that they could say whatever they want, but they are kind of like keeping you outside of their life. So now let's talk about like what being private actually means. And we have to know that being private has an expiry date. What I mean by that is that this is not something that will last forever. You cannot be private for like years. Of course, as I said at the beginning, you could be like, okay, I prefer to be private. I don't want to share for like multiple reasons. And there's a lot of like good reasons someone would not talk about like the person that they're dating with, because it might be too early, because they have like family or like friends, or what. There is a lot of reason. Like there is nothing to blame about someone that would like to stay private. But as I said, this has an expiry date. This could hold like a few weeks, not a few months or years. So you have to make the difference between something that is slow and something that is hidden. Like if they're like private about you at the beginning, and that they're slowly showing you to like more people, it could take time. Again, it depends on every person. It could take time, but you can see changes like happening slowly. So you meet one of their best friend, and then after a few weeks you meet another person or their close circle, like a colleague, for example, and then after 3 months you actually meet like their siblings, for example. This is slow. So depending on the person, this could happen like fast or not, but it happened like gradually. And again, always it depends on every person. But as you could have seen, this happened slowly, but at least it's happening. Being hidden, nothing's happening. Week one, they show you to no one. After 1 month, you barely see anyone. After 3 months, still you barely see anyone. This is different, and this is done on purpose. And this is the thing you should be aware of. So now, how to deal with that? So there is a simple way to actually deal with that. And again, as always, it's about communication. You will have to talk about that. You will have to ask them, like, what's going on? And the thing is, you don't have to be into like a confrontation mode, you don't have like to create a drama about that, but you just have to acknowledge like what's going on, to be like, okay, why I'm not meeting your friends, like why I'm not meeting your family. If you have to share what you actually want. Of course, the goal is not to make a big party and to meet like everyone in their life, but to be like, okay, it's been like a few months, I did not meet like your siblings, I did not meet like your family or your friends, what's going on? Like asking them why. And also asking them to be like, you would like to be part of their life. So putting the fact that you're feeling that you're like outside of their life. So based on that, having like this clear conversation will give you that the direction that will happen after that, because based on what you will share with them, they will most likely act on it, and act on it in different way. Either they will be like, okay, I understand, and they will start to make effort like to show you more to the people they care about, and this will be a good thing. So it just means that they needed like this little push to be able to share more, or they will maybe try to still stay hidden or try to not show you to other people, find excuses to be like, yeah, we're gonna do this one day, but that one day is never happening. So this is again a signal, because this is one thing that they keep you hidden, not necessarily a great one. But then if you actually notice and acknowledge and then tell them about that, and they hear you and they still do nothing, this is another level. So based on that, you will have to take the decision of deciding if you would like to continue being on the sidetrack of the life of the person you're dating. So the one thing to remember is that being private isn't romantic or automatic. This is not something that should happen and last so long. If someone is trying to build something with you, naturally you will start to meet the people that they're close with, their friends, family, colleagues, whatever. If this does not happen, you should start asking yourself questions and talk about that. Then, based on all of that, you have all the information to take the decision if you want to continue to build something with that person or start being kept outside of their lives. If this video was somehow helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. I see you soon for another one, and until then, take care and drink your water.